It's been a while since I've done any updates on this, but today we're concentrating on making we're making Reginald's Redneck ash scooper, and we're going to be using this cranberry juice container, and I'll show you how to do it. It's going to be able to be used to scoop from this end down here, and then this end will act as a funnel in case you want to put it into tin cans, or because with the rocket stove you don't need a great big container to put your ash in, but if you're using like a dustpan or something like that, it's kind of a pain. So on the stove I've been getting some really good burns lately. I've been cutting my thinner stuff long, the 1x4s and sometimes 1x6s, but my 2x4s I've been chunking them, which is like 6-inch long or so cuts. I'm just kind of looking at where the pallet boards were and cutting in between, and they're burning a lot better that way. I also picked up some cardboard. Get some amazing stuff, some thick stuff. Makes an awesome fire starter. Burns hot, and I just throw a chunk in there when I'm lighting the stove. After I get some paper lit and stuff in there. So I noticed a lot of people with rocket stoves probably got over frustrated. And I noticed a lot of them use a propane torch, but we're trying to avoid, using propane and gas and all that stuff. So this stove here, my gauges around the top there have been staying between 400 to 500 degrees around that upper pipe. And, I've spent a month and a half burning the stove. And I have to say I'm a lot happier with it than I was the first month. You have to watch your stove. You can't just expect it to do all the work on its own. You have to learn how it drafts. When you put your wood in, you just can't throw it in there and expect it to go to town and heat your house. So there's a lot of work involved when you have a rocket stove built in your home. Plus, you need to think of every possible situation you're going to have safety-wise. So that's some things to consider before you go down this road. So back to this container here. When I clean out my stove, it's a mess, even though it's a little bit of ash. I move the 2 bricks back in there, and I have a metal little scraper that I got from another little stove that I stick back in there and scrape that out. And then I take a magnet. You see the little plastic container there? It's a little grape juice container. I cut a wedge on one side. Since we're DIYing this, I had a magnet that broke, and we're talking a magnet the size of a small brick. Well, 2x4, a short 2x4. I had that magnet on the back of the stove to try to lure the nails away from the deep part of the stove, and the heat broke it. So what I do is I put this part of this magnet in this, and I pick up nails with it, and then I just lift that magnet out, and it drops the nails into my milk jug that I cut part of the top out of. So when I get this full, I just drop it off at the steel place. They don't give you anything for it because it's not in tons, but they're more than happy to take it. So, back to our scooper. What we're going to do is we're going to cut below this label, and then on this side we're going to cut above this label, and then we're going to cut from here across to here. So I'm going to pause the video, make those cuts, and then we'll turn this back on. Okay, we did our cutting. This gives us a piece to put at the opening of our rocket stove. Since mine has a T for clean out, I can move the 2 bricks, set this down, and rake all that ash into this. And then I can take this cap off and let it be a funnel to dump it into a tin can. And then the other half, you know, you can use as a scooper too. Nothing too fancy, just, you know, recycling all we can. Or we can use this as a little stand to hold some kindling or whatever. Okay, we're getting ready to rake out the stove. I'm going to try to do this one-handed, but I might have to put you down for a moment. Take our little fireplace tool. Let's get this on the side here. Lots of screws, like I said. Now, we take this and our milk bucket, and we pick them up, put them in a bucket.